Man killed in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend in Oklahoma. And visitors to Grove take a trip back in time thanks to the annual Pioneer Days. KOIM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, the Department of Justice brings charges against former FBI Director James Comey. Plus, authorities in Oklahoma identify the man killed in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend. And while birth rates drop nationwide, Jasper County bucks the trend with Missouri's highest numbers. What it signals for the region.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a federal grand jury on 2 criminal charges. This is KOIM News. I'm Dow Quick. In a video statement, Comey declared his innocence. Erica Brown has the latest.
Former FBI Director James Comey was charged with 1 count of making false statements and 1 count of obstruction of justice. The indictment alleges Comey misled lawmakers on Capitol Hill during his 2020 testimony about the FBI's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. The 5-year statute of limitations to bring charges was set to expire next week.
He did terrible things at the FBI. But I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen.
The indictment comes days after President Trump on social media appeared to urge his Attorney General Pam Bondi to target the former FBI director and other perceived political opponents. The president reacted to the indictment on Truth Social, calling Comey, quote, the former corrupt head of the FBI, adding Comey is now at the beginning of being held responsible for his crimes against our nation. Attorney General Bondi issued a statement saying, quote, no one is above the law. Today's indictment reflects this Department of Justice's commitment to holding those who abuse positions of power accountable for misleading the American people. Comey said this in a video statement late Thursday.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. But we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. But I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
In a statement, Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner, who is vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, called the indictment a dangerous abuse of power. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
The indictment makes Comey the first former senior government official to face prosecution in connection with the long-concluded investigation into Russian election interference. Comey's arraignment is set for October 9th in federal court in Alexandria, Virginia. Lindsay Halligan, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, said that if convicted, Comey faces up to 5 years in prison, while actual sentences for federal crimes are typically less than the maximum penalties. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
And it turned out to be a pretty good Thursday for us today. We are going to get that patchy fog back in here tonight. Very similar to last night, just not as thick. But if you're going to be on the roadways late tonight into tomorrow morning, watch out for that. Kind of chilly, mid-50s to kick off Friday, but near 80 for afternoon highs, mid-80s as we go into the weekend. Nothing going on. We have pretty much clear skies. It's besides a little bit of fog. It's going to stay nice and calm tonight. Mid-50s to kick off. But let me take you into Saturday afternoon. About 81, maybe 82, maybe a smidge warmer than what we did see today. Going into Saturday, partly sunny skies. And again, we go up into the low to mid-80s for highs. So a little warm for this time of the year, but not bad. 62 in Joplin, 63 in Pittsburgh. So fairly comfortable. Of course, we're going to look at the weekend next week here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. The FBI identifies the man shot and killed by a federal agent in Miami, Oklahoma on Sunday. He was 37-year-old Cody Ryan Mayfield of Miami. The FBI is now leading the investigation due to the tribal enrollment status of one of the parties involved. The incident began Sunday morning when Mayfield crashed his vehicle into a motorcycle. Authorities say he then got into an altercation with the biker and shot him before fleeing. The motorcyclist suffered non-life-threatening injuries, drove himself to a hospital. Officers found Mayfield's vehicle 3 blocks away at his own home. Investigators say Mayfield came outside with a gun to his head, threatening suicide and ignoring verbal commands. They say he then pointed his gun at officers and exchanged gunfire. Mayfield died from his injuries at a hospital. The OSBI is also assisting the FBI. The U.S. Attorney's Office will decide whether to prosecute or decline charges. Is it baby fever? Jasper County's birth rate, the number of live births per 1,000 people, is the highest in the state of Missouri. That's according to CDC data. 12.58, that's the birth rate for Jasper County, beating out national averages as well. While Jasper County's birth rate is high, nationwide these numbers have dropped 10 to 15% in the past decade. The director of the Joplin Regional Alliance for Healthcare says it's important to have resources available for families to support birth rates.
I think that they really do a good job of getting the word out and making sure that people have access and can gain access to resources to feel supported. And I know our health systems both do a tremendous job with community education and community support of women's programs and maternity programs.
Next week, we're going to have more on how birth rates can impact the workforce and why Jasper County's above average rate is bringing optimism about the community's future. Foster Adopt Connect serves communities throughout Kansas and Missouri. The Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting at the Joplin branch, which was followed by an open house to celebrate 25 years. The organization seeks to help families and prevent children from being placed into foster or adoptive care.
The branch director here at Foster Adopt Connect is to support and enable the specialists that are here that are in the trenches, the boots on the ground, servicing our kiddos and our parents to help them provide safe and secure environments to the kiddos and keep their family units together as a whole.
The organization also operates Sammy's Window, a clothing closet and food pantry for children in foster or adoptive care. Anyone is welcome to donate supplies to that pantry. Culinary students at McDonald County High School dip into a savory lesson today. Coming up, how they took their skills to the community. But up first, taking a trip back in time.
From old-fashioned crafts to churning butter to the cabins on the lake. I'm Blake Gully. Coming up, we'll show you how one event is turning back the clock to the pioneer days.
Boy, this is fun. This weekend, history comes to life in Grove, Oklahoma. Pioneer Days is back at Harbor Village, offering 3 days of hands-on fun that takes visitors straight back into the 1800s. KOAM's Blake Gully shows us what families can expect.
Walking through Harbor Village this weekend feels like stepping into a history book. Pioneer Days brings the past to life with old-time skills like butter churning and rope making, connecting visitors to the history of the 4 states.
We're a replica pioneer village, so we are everything from about 1750 to about 1929. And so everything that we have here, we'll talk about those eras, the frontiersmen, our forefathers, indigenous peoples, anyone in Northeast Oklahoma and the surrounding 3 states. We actually try to represent what their lives were like daily.
Everywhere you turn here at Pioneer Days, you see parts of history, including historical figures like Bass Reeves, one of the first black U.S. deputy marshals. Here, one of the actors brings his story to life.
He had one of the most significant careers in that he worked for the court for 32 years as a lawman. So he's one of the longest serving U.S. deputy marshals in the history of the Wild West.
I got roped into the fun trying my hand at lassoing with the beginner's rope.
You can start it from a standstill, just like this. You maintain that the handle is pointed down to the ground at all times. And I always tell kids it's like drawing a big circle with just your wrist. You start slow and you gradually speed up, and he's never tried it before. Look at that.
Organizers say each day is a different mix of demonstrations, so no 2 visits are exactly the same. Reporting in Grove, Oklahoma, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Blake handled that rope pretty well. From live reenactments to hands-on crafts, Pioneer Days offers activities for all ages. The event runs through Saturday at Harbor Village. For times and ticket details, check out our website. You see it there, KOAMnewsnow.com. McDonald County High School culinary arts students get a taste of the real world today at Town and Country Supermarket. The students gave out samples of their homemade barbecue sauce while learning about the safe serve practices. Part of the project-based learning style from their teacher.
when we mess with flavors, we try them and then mix it with other stuff. So for example, let's say a regular sauce, we'll try the sauce first and then we'll mix it with the flavor we're wanting.
Students are given a choice of making different kinds of barbecue sauce. Memphis, St. Louis, and Texas, both of the barbecue sauces they made are Texas style. The Kansas Air Tour made its first stop in Parsons this week, bringing planes, pilots, and STEM education to local students. The tour dates back to 1928, but after an 80-year hiatus, it was relaunched in 2008. Since then, volunteer pilots have traveled across the state, introducing kids to aviation through hands-on activities and presentations. This year, more than 1,000 students have already taken part, including about 80 in Parsons. Organizers say the goal is to spark curiosity about aviation, a $20 billion industry in Kansas.
We're really happy that Parsons decided to volunteer, and when you volunteer to be a stop, you're volunteering for a whole bunch of additional duties and opportunities. And a lot of the pilots had never landed at Parsons, and so this was a great opportunity to come in, take a look at the airport. There's been a lot of great activity at this airport, but then to have an opportunity to see what's going on in Parsons, to let the community come out, and then to meet all these great kids.
The lineup of planes ranged from a 1941 Ryan built in Parsons during World War II to modern experimental aircraft. A little bit later, heavy fog might be to blame for a rollover crash in Jasper County last night.
And we could get a little bit more fog for us tonight. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, a dry one for us today after scattered showers and thunderstorms from late last week all the way through yesterday. But today, plenty of sunshine. Of course, we had the fog during the morning hours, but let's go ahead and get caught up on rain stats. About 3 inches for the month, for the year, 33.5. Average is about 35, so we're still behind, and it does show a little bit on the drought tracker. Kansas, Oklahoma looking pretty good. Arkansas looks good too. But once you get Nevada, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Joplin, Monette, we have a moderate drought. So we need to continue to get rain, but we don't have any rain in the forecast as we go through the next week. In fact, there's nothing going on. Clear skies across the region. Let me take you through time. We'll go into Friday morning. Kind of a cool start, a nice start, about 55, 57 degrees. Any fog that is out there will burn off through the morning. By the noon hour, upper 70s. Once we get into the afternoon, 81 or 82 degrees. Smidge above normal, about 3 or 4 degrees above normal, but still overall looks pretty good. Heading into Saturday morning, even a little bit cooler, mid 50s. So chilly, cool start. Saturday afternoon, a few clouds, but look at our temps. We go into low to mid 80s, 83, 84, 85. Across the region. Day planner on your Friday, 57 to start, 77 by noon. High temp, 81 degrees. Let's jump into Fourth State, Friday night football, 73 at kickoff for games, 66 by the fourth quarter. So for early fall, this is really just about perfect. I mean, just perfect temperatures for high school football. Over the weekend, 83 Saturday, a little chilly in the mornings, 85. As we go into Sunday afternoon. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking downtown Joplin, right through downtown to the north and to the east. All right, so a little chilly out there, and this is mainly because we have cooler air riding over a ridge and dropping in. But as this ridge builds in over the weekend into early next week, our temperatures continue to warm up just a little bit. Also, the tropics have been getting going just a bit. Kind of a atypical pattern. You got a tropical system developing near the Bahamas, then you got a hurricane right behind it. So you got two kind of lined up. This one's going to go out to sea, but this one should move into the Carolinas as we head into early next week. So we'll be watching that. Back here at home, not much. We have this ridge that builds in over the weekend. Then it sits on us. We have a blocking pattern, meaning an area of low pressure here and then one back here. So it just kind of blocks up the pattern just a bit. All week long, not too much going on. Then finally we get a system in here next weekend that will give us some rain chances. Until then, it's pretty quiet. Let's look at your Sunday. If you're heading north Kansas City, Chiefs have a big game in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be into the mid 80s, and that's what we're going to see for the next several days. 81 on your Friday, 83 Saturday, 85, 84, 84, 82. Comfortable, little warm, a little bit warmer than I think what most people want to see going into October, which is next week. But nice weekend.
Yeah, we're not going to complain about low 80s for sure. Thanks, Doug. Troopers say the dense fog contributed to a rollover crash in Jasper County this morning. The crash happened around 5:45 at Baseline Boulevard and County Road 210. Missouri State Highway Patrol says a woman traveling south drove through the intersection at highway speed into the trees. Her vehicle came to a rest tangled in a homeowner's fence. The driver was taken to an area hospital by private vehicle. Still ahead, Missouri Southern is looking to bounce back this week after losing their first game of the season on Saturday. We're going to hear from head coach Atiba Bradley next. And Pitt State's on a 2-game win streak, but the Gorillas have another tough test against Emporia State this weekend. Those details coming up.
The Gorillas of Pitt State have found a rhythm with back-to-back come-from-behind wins at home, but they face a new challenge this week on the road against Emporia State. The Gorillas' defense has been key in each of the last 2 weeks, holding Grand Valley State and Fort Hays State to under 20 points while forcing multiple turnovers. But one thing PSU is looking to eliminate this week is missed tackles, especially against an offense that plays fast and ups the tempo.
We did a couple different things this week, and I think I definitely saw as the week went on just more of a sense of urgency from our guys, and just getting them to realize this week how important tackling, is going to be against an Emporia offense that makes you defend the whole field, sideline to sideline. Just a lot of one-on-one, opportunities out in space, and guys are going to have to tackle, at an elite level Saturday. They're going to move, and they're going to move with tempo, and the tempo and how they force you to defend sideline to sideline is what puts stress on a defense. So our guys are going to have to be really good at getting the call, communicating, and then identifying the formation.
We know we have to win first and second down. And as a D lineman, I can make an impact on that. So if I dominate my job first and make an impact on that first or second down play, then now third down is easy, and now we're slowing down their tempo.
Gorillas look to make it 3 wins in a row on Saturday against the Hornets. Kickoff at 1 p.m. from Welch Stadium. The Missouri Southern Lions are coming off their first loss of the season, falling at home to Northwest Missouri State last week. But the Lions are back in action on Saturday on the road against Central Missouri with hopes of a bounce-back win. And despite their 7-point loss to Northwest Missouri, head coach Atiba Bradley believes that his team can compete with anybody. And don't get fooled by Central Missouri's losing record. This Mules team will be a tough matchup for MSSU. And on Saturday, the Lions will lean on their bend, but don't break defense to stop a UCM offense averaging 27 points per game.
We got to continue to build on what we did and try to minimize a few mistakes, but at the end of the day, Northwest Missouri made just a handful of reps better than we did, and they got the victory. There's a theme developing. We are bend but don't break. We've since day one, we don't care if you get yards. We just don't want to give you points. And so we don't care if you drive 80 yards and then have a turnover. That's what we're after.
MSSU and UCM clash on Saturday at Walton Stadium to highlight the Mules family weekend. Kickoff set for 1 p.m. Webb City Volleyball has been tough to beat in recent weeks, winning 5 of their last 7 matchups. Cardinals back in the Dome to take on Republic for senior night. Webb City looking to bounce back from Tuesday's loss to Kickapoo. First set, Webb City with the lead. Off the Cardinals serve, the Tigers find outside hitter Andy Weisstrom on the outside, but Kaylin Maxwell says not today and sends it back for the point. Later in the set, Webb City's defense showing its strength again. Riley Fent's spike that you're about to see is denied by Savannah Crane, and the senior picks up the kill. Cardinals with set point. Crane's fellow senior Avery Gardner with the serve. She sneaks it inside the back line as Webb City takes the opening set and dominates on senior night with a win in straight sets over Republic. Cardinals boys soccer team also in action tonight, hosting Springfield Central. First half, this free kick from Luis Puerto finds Zane Endicott, but his header is saved by a diving Ben Mackler. Later in the half, Central on the attack this time. Ethan Edwards with possession. He'll take a couple of touches, firing on net, but Tristan Smith makes a diving save of his own. Still the first half, Bulldogs back on the attack. Wyatt Wagler finds Danny Munoz, but Smith makes another diving save to keep it scoreless. This one will go into penalty kicks. Webb City, though, takes down Central 1-0. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Trucks collide and crowds cheer at tonight's Demolition Derby in Joplin. The second annual event brings together truckers and families for an evening of high-impact entertainment. KOAM Shannon Becker joins us with more on what you can expect throughout the weekend.
This three-day event, GBATS, the Guilty by Association Truck Show with 4 state trucks, the Demolition Derby tonight. Then Friday, trucks who pre-registered still arriving. There are food vendors on the properties at noon and 5 on Friday. They have burnouts in the pit area. So see the schedule for the tractor pull, fireworks show, motocross stunt team, and more burnouts. The event wraps on Saturday with the world's largest convoy for Special Olympics. They'll circle the city of Joplin and then end on 26th Street with a huge light show and a free concert at Cunningham Park with country superstar Colin Ray. All the information is on our website at GBATS, the Guilty by Association Truck Show by 4 State Trucks. I'm Shannon Becker for KOAM News Now.
Tomorrow night's big truck and tractor pull starts at 7:30 p.m. So a lot going on this weekend, a lot of reasons to get outside, and the weather's going to be participating for the most part.
It is. We got high school football tomorrow night as well. Weather's going to be just about perfect, falling back through the 70s and into the 60s. 81 for a high, a little warm over the weekend, but a fantastic weekend. Get outside, enjoy it. Might as well. December, January, right around the corner.
Yeah, I intend to enjoy it. Yeah. And don't remind me about January yet, please. Final sports note.
We have Pitt State and Missouri Southern both on the road this week, but that's not going to stop our KOAM sports team. Ben's going to be in Warrensburg, then I will be in Emporia, so we'll be covering both games this weekend on Saturday.
You guys are always busy, aren't you?
Always running around, always busy.
We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.